What's up, locker room? This is Wednesday. I like to call it your day. You know what I'm saying? Because this day we do it your way. I like that. Wait a minute. I like to call Wednesday your day because this day we will do it your way. I really like that. I really like this. You tell me, locker room, what is it that's most on your mind, on your heart, that you want to discuss? So much is going on in the world of sports. You guys saw that Monday Night Football game. We talked about it a little bit here. The Chargers beating the Eagles. You want to chat that? Let's chat that. You also saw what happened in that Titans and Browns game. You know, Titans beat the Browns, but there's a lot of talk about taking out Shedeur Sanders for the 2-point conversion and the possible tie the game after he threw over 300 yards and touchdowns, running, throwing, and you didn't give him the chance. You want to talk through that? We can definitely talk through that. A lot of people are talking about Phillip Rivers signing with the Colts at 44 years old, and I'm talking about 44 going up against Seattle. The coach tell you they'll name who's starting a quarterback situation later on this week. That's a hell of a decision right there when you're looking at Phillip Rivers, 44 years old. Phillip Rivers was home. He was home. He was chilling. He got like 12 kids. He has a football team at home. So I guess he just figured, I'm at home with a football team. I might as well go be on a real football team. There's so many people, and, I'm just having fun with Phillip Rivers there. But, could you imagine? He's home now. You're retired. And you got 11 kids around there. Now, you do know you're the last on the totem pole. Think about that. He's a quarterback. So everywhere he's been number one on the totem pole because he's the man at quarterback. But then he gets home and he's retired. And you go from number one on the totem pole all the way to the bottom because you're behind the kids and certainly the wife. Phillip Rivers said, man, I might as well get up and go get on that football field and get beat up that way instead of just getting beat up at home. At least they're paying me to get beat up that way. Or if you want to talk about it, talk about it. Or the rest of the world has been talking about Miami getting in to the college football playoff. Now, this we got to talk about too. And when I say Miami getting in, I don't mean them, they gave us something here. Miami, I believe, earned. All they did was give Miami what they've earned. And dude, let me say, and even if you guys want to talk this, because I talked about this. You guys don't find what they've done here repulsive and out of hand and out of line. When the AD from Notre Dame, that Pete Bavakovich, who came on and said that he was promised. I was promised we were going to be in. There should never at any time be any promises made within that college football committee, playoff committee. Right now, that's why you see Alabama in. Now I'm not saying Alabama's not a good football team, but Alabama has 3 losses, and as everybody's been stating, they didn't drop out, and BYU drops after they lose in the championship game, and so all of this stuff just says to me, mess. I heard them talking about coming up with a comprehensive tiebreaker because I think you got to do that across the board. The less human we have in the process, the less humans we have in the process making decisions, the better. As long as we leave less humans we have in the process, that means we'll leave things on the field, making the decisions. Because humans just start putting all kind of shit in shit. You see what I mean? Like head to head doesn't matter. And then you get such a backlash about, what are you talking about? Head to head doesn't matter. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Then they change it and say, well, if it's close enough in the polls, then the head to head should matter. Then you have to work backwards to make it right. You have to work backwards to get Miami back in the grace where they're supposed to be, so you can flip and do the right thing. Let me know what's on your mind. Love your stuff. I appreciate that. Mac, was that Maccabee? It says, love your stuff. And I love this show. I do. It is what it is. Some funny stuff, the sports podcast hosted by Cam and Mace. I have so much fun with them dudes, man. Those are my guys, man. I appreciate you. You know, and let me tell y'all too about the Cam and Mace podcast, because and stat too. She's a good girl. Stat, good girl. She does a great job in hosting the show. And it's all us. But I'm gonna tell you, I go places, and like I was on the golf course doing an appearance on the golf course, and I get people coming up to me. They saying, Michael, can you play golf? I said, I don't play golf. He said, why? You can't get you're not good at hitting the ball and getting it in the hole? Pause. I said, what did you just say? This was a white guy saying you're not good at hitting the ball and getting it in the hole? Pause. I said, what are you talking about, man? He says, I listen to you guys on It Is What It Is. You never say pause. And but dude, what do you know about a pause? You know what I mean? What do you know about a pause? So it's so funny. Hey, Dr. Frankie, I tell you, I appreciate that right there, man. That is what I'm talking about. You know, Doc Frankie L. Bellamy. I think your conversation with the mothers of the players at Miami was wonderful. We need more of that. I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you saying it. Because I was thinking about this and everything. Think about how much work and time those moms have put in. And everybody talks to everybody about how this affects them, this affects them, this affects them. And we rarely hear from the most important subjects in the whole matter. And that's the moms. Those are the ones that invested the most. I don't care what anybody say, so we go keep working that and getting more voices out there from the moms. You know what I mean? And what is it like? What is it like going through the process and watching your kids go through things and do things? So yeah, soon and very soon, we're going to be working that jelly and bringing that mom's playbook to you and doing those things, giving moms those opportunities to talk. I love this. Keep doing your thing, Playmaker. I appreciate that, Jamie. I do appreciate that, buddy. And my thing is your thing. My thing is our thing. Miami, that's our thing. Okay, now I want to see this, Mr. Pugh. Excuse me, Mr. Pugh. Miami did all that crime just to lose to A&M. This is what I'm talking about. And it's so funny. I was just talking with Gene and Nathan prior to coming on, and we were talking about it. And I appreciate you, Mr. Pugh, coming on in here with your Pew, telling us what you think. Because everybody's saying this. Everybody's saying it. Miami did all of that just to go down here and get drove by Texas A&M. Everybody wants Miami to get drove. They want Miami to lose. And I don't understand that. I don't understand where the hate comes from. Miami didn't cry. Miami didn't cry. All Miami did, and I don't call it crime. You know what I mean? I don't call it crime when we're stating truth. When all the Miami fan base has said is, you cannot say that head to head doesn't matter. If we're competing one against another, you cannot tell me that that shouldn't matter, even if you think, well, you can clearly see, anybody with eyes can clearly see that Notre Dame was a better team. I couldn't clearly see. The scoreboard couldn't clearly see, you know. So that would be a lot. And the reality is those promises you made to Notre Dame, the promises you guys are making in that damn room to each other, like politics, that's the problem. Because now you got to go in and make a decision trying to hold on to that promise. Stop making promises. That's not what you're there for. That's not what you're there for. Stop trying to be friends and buddying up. We're not in DC. This is about football. And that's why I got upset, because you're cheating us. Man, come on, guys, out here, man. We put our life into this stuff. Our life. Literally, when we win, right. When we win, everybody's happy. When you lose, everybody's sad. You put your life into this. And then you get these people talking about they're making promises in a room to each other. We were promised this. We're promised next year, if we're in the top 12, that we'll be in the playoffs. Oh, my God. You know what I mean? That's crazy even to say that. But they do. So that's how crazy it is. Howdy, Michael Irvin. You need to be the Dallas Cowboys coach, bro. Please, I wish. Ain't no way, just no way. The playmaker and the you. Yeah. God bless you and your family, 88. I appreciate that, Hyden Holmes, you too, my brother. God bless you and your family also, and God bless everybody. God bless everybody in their family this holiday season. And I pray that God gives you, the protection and certainly the direction to lead, the covering in the direction to lead your family, So that's for everybody out here, because there's so much going on this holiday season, Playmaker. Playmaker was so tough, huge heart. Yeah, I appreciate it. You're right. Played. I tried to play a physical game, and I definitely gave it all. I gave it my all the time. You know what I mean? Dr. Frank asked me again, what is your favorite part of the holidays? Well, it's so funny because I haven't had many holidays home. I'm always working. When you're on TV, certainly when you're doing football, you got to understand those holidays are such great days that they don't ever take those days off, because they know everybody's home. So that's an opportunity to get better ratings, and they always. So I've always been working. Now I'll be working this Christmas too. I would be in DC working the Christmas game between Dallas, of course. Hey, go back a little bit, Gene. Go back. Between Dallas and the Commanders. OG just sent his support from Cowboys Nation, huh? I appreciate that. Yeah. Is that Coco? I appreciate that. That's a Coco, right? Kokomo? How do you say that? Kokomo Smooth? That Kokomo Smooth? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Hell of a name, too, though. Hell of a name. What do you think about Jalen Hurts? Eagle fan, 1993. And I'm going to give you guys it. I let this go for a minute because I kind of like seeing Eagles swarming like a worming, swarming and worming. You know what I mean? Swarming and worming, swarming and worming. But I'm going to say this. 2 of those interceptions in that game It's not Jalen Hurts. That last game losing interception, I hadn't heard anybody say that's not Jalen Hurts. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody is talking about Jalen Hurts. When that last interception, well, that one interception, A.J. Brown ball went through his hand, that's one. And that last interception, where the guy, DB, dropped back, tipped the ball, and the other guy caught it. That's not on Jalen Hurts. And nobody said that. Now, I'm going to tell you guys here the problem. When you look at that play, they were lined up on about the 20-some yard line. 20-some yard line. So you got 20 yards, about 20 yards to the goal line, another 10 yards back of the goal line. All right? They snap the ball. Tight end goes in the flats. So we're on the 20-yard line. Tight end right now is at 3 yards. He's on the 17 or close to the 15-yard line. Close to the 15-yard line. If you guys watch that play again, you watch that play, I want you to not look at Jalen Hurts, not look at that tight end. Look at where the damn wide receiver is running the route, where he has to throw it where the wide receiver is going. Now, get this. The wide receiver, Johan Dotson, is coming out of his 7 route or post corner, whichever stipulation you want to put on it, coming out of his corner route about right around about the goal line. Right around about the goal line. So think about this. You got the receiver sitting at the goal line. You got the tight end. Since you were on the 20-yard line, and he's 4 yards deep, he's sitting at 16. You know what I mean? 16-yard line. You got 16 yards between that wide receiver and the tight end. Are you shitting me? No. Now, the DB, when you only have that 16 yards, he plays them both. He's playing this way, watching the short play, but he knows he can get back and get into that play because Johan Dotson took his ass too flat. He's on the 1 yard line, 2 yard line. This guy's on the 16. Johan Dotson should have been running to the back corner of that damn end zone. And now that's another 10 damn yards. Another 10 damn yards away from that guy that tipped that damn ball. See, and nobody's saying this. Nobody's saying, so I'm not even giving that to Jalen Hurts. I'm giving that to Johan Dotson. And I'm wondering why that should have been A.J. Brown. Or even I'll take it Devontae Smith. But you got to take that ball high. You got to go high with it. When he was trying to force that ball in there, the only reason he had to force it, and the guy fell back. And he barely tipped it. He tipped the ball. He couldn't catch it. They tell you he was trying to tip it. So even if Dotson goes another 4 yards, not even a whole 10 to the back of the end zone, he gets another 3 yards or 4 yards, he wouldn't be able to tip that ball. You see what I mean? He wouldn't have been able to tip that ball. And you'd have had enough separation between the tight end and the wide receiver. And Philly wins that game. I shouldn't even been saying that and telling y'all this. You know what I mean? Okay, he said I got it right. I appreciate it. So the Kokomo. Kokomo is the city. Smooth is the alias. I got you. Hurts can't anticipate throws and not staring out receivers. And I love it. I appreciate you. Yeah. But we knew he was coming inside. And Black Cutting. Pause, Mike. I got you, buddy. That pause is funny stuff, man. That pause is funny stuff. But he has to go higher. He has to go higher. Now, a receiver usually, because think about it, the receiver usually runs that route. He came in. This guy is the guy covering him. This guy is already inside. Rule is rule. Rule is rule. If this guy is high, then you come out flat. But this guy, if you come up and this guy is kind of equal or even, you go out high. And he was here because this guy didn't backpedal because he was on the goal line already. There's no need to backpedal. He's going to sit right here on the goal line because that's a drop 10 yards if you're going here. Or if you cross my face, if you're going to run by me straight up, it'll be a hard throw to get that ball up and down before I run out of the end zone. That has to be an anticipatory throw by Jalen Hurts, but the receiver has to show I'm going to the back, and then Jalen Hurts throws that ball up toward the back of the end zone, and they score a touchdown. You put it on Jalen Hurts. I put it on the receiver. That's all. I'm just telling you, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah. I didn't want to tell anybody that. I really did, because I like hearing you guys in a flux over there, you know, and I wanted to let it go. But here's my peeps. The locker room are my peeps. I cannot, and I will not, and I won't ever let anyone violate what we have, regardless. I just won't do it. This place and this thing, we will stay clean, we will stay us, and we will stay true. And I will stay sharing everything, anything. I consider you family. And that's why I don't mind sharing what the Eagles need to do right there. Because y'all are family. You see what I mean? I appreciate that. WCB, how do you say that? WCB ball call 17. It's saying I'm the best ever. I appreciate you saying that, buddy. You know what I mean? Hey, what's up, buddy? I appreciate it, man. Yeah. So yeah. So you get a lot of that. Mike, don't worry about clowns on Twitter or X. I don't worry about them. I really don't. If people are people. I get it all the time, hear it all the time. And sometimes, you know what? Sometimes people say stuff and you just gotta respond. You just got. Why is it like that? Why is it like that? Like some things, what someone say, and I tried to let it go, but then I said something. You know, it's just what people are. We can all say, why do we do like we said, it doesn't matter. I don't know this person. That should bother me. That's a strange. You don't know me. I don't care what you're writing or what you're saying, but it does bother you. And we'll, yeah. Yeah. Unc, what box Unc Shay? No, I ain't boxing nobody. Hell no, man. Please. No way. I ain't boxing nobody. You know. Maybe, not Shay, not Shay, not Shay. That's my boy. Who would I box? And if I boxed him, I wouldn't want to use big gloves. I want to use the UFC gloves for we'll be boxing. Like, I'll use UFC gloves so you will feel the pain. But I would want to do boxing so I ain't got to worry about the grappling part. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's Michael. The locker room is so special. Please don't let anyone take this way. Take it away from all of us. I appreciate you saying that. And the mom's playbook was so special. Thank you, man. I appreciate you saying that because, this gives me an opportunity with a lot of things to kind of, just like everything else. Your social media is kind of this insight about what's important to you. That's what we do. We all do that. So this whole thing I'm doing here on this channel is, just it's all parts of me. The mom thing, man, because my mom was everything. And All of our moms should be everything. And we and giving them a voice and getting it out is very important, you know. And I love some of the comments we've gotten about that. You know, getting those takes about how the mom sees everything. I just love the comments with that, you know. GP3 had a bad game and all the knives were aimed at him. Chill. Yeah, they were aimed at him. Now, GP3 also had something different because I think it's the first time he had this kind of attention given to him. You know what I mean? This kind of attention given to him. And that means he had a cornerback and a safety running over. Everybody's watching him. You're doubling, they were doubling him. And what happens though? What happens every time? And this is why Dak even threw those balls. When you go back and look at it. When you're playing the outside receiver, he's outside. And the cornerbacks here playing him, and they cheat the safety over. They are cheating the safety over to get the quarterback off you. The quarterback's ready. Dak comes to the line, or Troy comes to the line, and Troy looks over. He sees cover 3. That means 3 deep zone. Cornerback, safety, cornerback. The ball's coming to me. I mean, the ball's going to George. If he comes to that line and he sees cover 1, that's man to man. Man to man. One safety free. That's the corner's playing him. That corner's playing him. Safety in the middle of the field free. He's going to George Pickens right away. Now, if he comes to the line of scrimmage and he's looking at what looks like a cover 3, right? As he comes, I'm going to George. But the safety wants you not to go to George as your first read. So what happens now is when they come out of the huddle, George breaks out, the cornerback's over George. The free safety that's supposed to be in the middle of the field shades all the way over and plays on top of George. Now, what I learned, because I was used to being double teamed and I understood it, you know, it happened at St. Thomas, and then it happened at the University of Miami. So when I saw it in Dallas, I was already prepared for it, ready to make it do what it do. So you see, what they were doing and what they tried even with us at times, they'll shade that safety over the top with the corner up, Bobby Taylor. Bobby Taylor here. They shade the safety over. Troy comes out, same thing, GP3, and that comes out. And he sees the safety shaded over. Right now, Dak's reads go elsewhere because the safety shades over. And that's why he does it. At the snap of the ball, a lot of the times, set ball snap, that safety shoots back to the middle of the field. So Dak now goes over and read this front read. Don't even go backside. But now you go and you look at film, you go look at the sheet, you say, hey, George, you see the safety shading over on top of you. And but at the snap of the ball, he's running back to the middle of the field playing free safety. So I need you to go off this ball, flying. George may be coming off. He was coming off a little slow because he saw the safety. Usually, if that safety stays over there, he's not throwing you the ball. He's not throwing you the ball. And so you know you're not getting the ball. So you kind of jog off the ball a little bit. And that's what happened a couple of times. He kind of like he was jogging off the ball because he's taking 2 guys out. He's taking that corner and that safety out. But once you jog off the ball and that safety runs back to the middle, and Dak sees this because he's seeing it up, and then he still comes out and throw to you. Now you look like you're not running full speed or you're not prepared to make the play. You understand what I'm saying? That's what happened on that play. That you saw George look like he's not running. It like then try to get him moved and try to go in. He's surprised that ball's coming to him. That square in. He was like, that ball coming, then try to go and get it. Because once you see that safety over the top, you think you don't get it. And you jog off the ball, and when that safety run back, that throws that ball. Now everybody's on you saying, what do you do? Or saying things like the Pittsburgh George Pickens finally showed up. I think George is. I think this game has taught him a lot, and basically, mostly what we just said. Now you know, even when that safety's shading over, I gotta go. I gotta go. I can't concede that I'm not playing and making big plays today, and that's kind of how I felt. They conceded and said, "Okay, we'll let it go." With George, even though Dak didn't let it go. And George can't let it go. You are a top 10 receiver of all time. Ice beard hop. They did a top 10 receivers of all time, and I didn't make that list. Legendary. I remember they did it a while ago. And I went to work the other day because I was on air the next day, and they were talking about it. Some of the receivers that were in the top 10 and you didn't make it. And they said, Michael, how does that make you feel? I said, well, it made me feel actually great. Because honestly, I looked at that list that they had, and I swear to you, I said, I wouldn't trade my career for any of those guys. None of those guys you have in the top 10 will I trade my career for, with the exception of Jesus and Cleek, which is Jerry Rice. Because Jerry Rice, he has way more yards and catches and touchdowns than me. He played 18 years. I only played about 9, but we still have the same amount of rings. 3. So and all those other guys, most don't even have any ring. So I said to him, I guarantee you, they would gladly trade their career with me. I would never trade my career with them because they didn't win. So, for me, it's not just about catching passes and touchdowns. It's about winning. And that's why I wouldn't trade my career with any of them in that so-called top 10 that they had put together. Football isn't like it was 30 years ago. All the hard hits back then, there was any penalties for them for those hits. Did y'all see the other day? Who was that guy? I wrote about it on X. Who was that took that hit? Oh, Ray Rice. Wasn't it? Rasheed Rice. Ray Rice. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I wonder how Ray Rice is doing. I wonder how Ray Rice is doing. God bless him. I hope he's doing good. I'm telling you guys, Ray Rice was a solid dude, a good dude. I know all that he went through, but it was a solid dude. I was shocked when all that came down. But I'm telling you, you saw the other day when Rasheed Rice got it? I mean, they beamed in, woof, slapped him out. He caught the ball went flying in the air. I hit on X right then. I said, you see that play? That's how we had to make every catch we ever made, right? Like that, in the midst of that pain. And you ought to get hit like that. You had to hold on to that football. It was a different brand of football. I mean, there was some different brands of hitters out there too. And yeah, so that was one of those shots. Everybody, they don't see people get hit like that. So everybody was shocked to see it. So was I, to be honest with you. So was I. I thought, and it was clean. It wasn't helmet to helmet or anything. So I was like, wow. I think most of the time people are afraid to do that now because, of what we're talking about. People are just afraid to do it. Yeah, I think so too, dog. Go back a little bit. Because go back to Gary Clark. You was talking about Gary Clark. Gary Clark should be in the NFL Hall of Fame. Gary Clark was a bad dude. You're right. GC was a bad dude, man. Man, we used to travel around and play basketball games. Like I told you, the hoopsters and GC will all be on the bus together. Good dude, cool dude, but I certainly believe he should be in the Hall of Fame too. And what is this? WCB call 17. Michael Irvin never laid down. He was tough. Bucket, nail. Tough bucket of nails. Yeah, okay. Yeah, never laid down. You're right. Tough bucket of nails. I like that. Bucket of nails. That's wonder where he's from using that language right there, Use that language. Dude, let me say, okay, yeah. Let me ask you guys all this shit. Let me see what they say. I was showing my son highlights of you and Drew Pearson getting hit and hanging on to the ball and staying in the game. Yeah, isn't that crazy? I love Charles Haley back then too. But okay, let me tell you something. It was showing him, bam, getting hit and holding on to the ball. Boom, getting hit, holding on to the ball. And it's so funny you say that because I was watching an argument that, remember when we had the new show, the show I turned with the Undisputed, and I was with Keyshawn and we had Sherman Williams, and we had a deep conversation, a deep argument on air about catching the football for wide receivers. And I was telling Sherm what I had to tell CD as he became a number one receiver, that now, since you're going to always be surrounded by many people because you're the number one guy now, you have to learn to catch the ball into your body for protection, your protection, and protecting the ball away from the fumbles. Even that game the other night where you see A.J. Brown reach his hands up and he brings his hands down quickly without securing the ball because he felt the pressure of that guy coming at him, and he put his hands down, ball popped up, and was an interception. You see what I mean? So I don't put that, first of all, I don't put that on Jalen Hurts. I put that on A.J. Brown because the man been talking about the ball and he put it in your hand and you came down. I'm not saying he was afraid. I'm saying it's a natural body reaction. It's a natural response. That's why when someone walks up to you and they'll do that, your eyes blink. That means you were afraid. It's a natural body defense mechanism that you can't control. And in the middle of this field, the tightness is a defense mechanism that you can't control. So I was saying you got to use your body. No, Michael, that's the worst advice you could ever give a receiver. I can't believe you said that to a receiver. That's the worst advice you give a receiver. And then they always go in it. You've never seen Calvin Johnson or T.O. I love Calvin. That's my boy. You never see T.O. or any of them guys catching the ball with their body. I see you never seen them stand at that damn podium and call themselves a champ either. Because catching passes in pressure in the midst of pain requires you understanding all of your body. Not just some shit somebody wrote in a book about catch the ball, come this way until you get low your weight, and then you put your fingers together like this. He was just writing. He never played at the level I played at. And if I took his advice, I wouldn't be having the rings and things that I have. And all of those people you guys be talking about ain't got those rings and things because they don't know how to do what I'm talking about doing. This is the crucial play. This going to be the big play. I got to make sure that I protect and secure this play. And my body feels the pressure. They're saying to me, slant route, Michael on the slant route. Watch him on the slant. I still got to go make that play. Still got to make the play. You see, and so you got to understand how to battle what's really happening. That ball comes in, I run that same route, that deep, that deep ball. AJ Brown, ball go through there. He's coming out because he felt that pressure. Now, imagine if he jumps up and instead of trying to reach like this to go get that ball, reach like this to catch it. While you are running this way, you're running, the guy's coming this way. He reached back like it, pressure, and that ball went through his hands because he tightened. If he throws that ball and I go off this left heel, jump, and I catch this ball this way, I don't feel the pressure. My body don't react to his pressure. I'm not doing this. I'm just catching this thing right here. And when I catch it, even if he knocks me out, boom, boom, he seals the ball on me. These are the pressure moments that makes the difference when we win games. Okay, we want to talk Canes. Gary, we want to talk Canes. Let's talk Canes. I'm going to do that. The stream just beat the stream from last time and is now the most watched stream at the locker room. Congrats. I appreciate that. You see what I'm saying? I'm serious. That means there's 2 weeks in a row, we're taking it higher and higher. And I appreciate you doing that, guys, because this day is about you. And you want to talk about the Canes. Let's talk Canes, Gary. I'm with that. Let's get into what they're talking about now. Honestly, you guys, let me ask this too. Your thoughts on everybody talking about the Miami was crying. I know you people are saying that Miami's going to get blown out, but Miami was crying. Notre Dame AD came on and told you about all the promises that was made to him, and now they're crying. So give me your thoughts on this. Do you think the committee got it right? Do you believe Miami should be in? Do you believe Notre Dame should be in? Do you believe Alabama should be in? Because that's what it came down to. I personally would have kept Notre Dame in and kicked Alabama out. I don't want to hear it because they kept moving that goalpost, right? They said, well, no, Alabama can't get kicked out if they lose in the championship game unless it's a blowout. 21 damn points was a blowout. And so you said it when you thought there was no way it could be a blowout. And then when the blowout came, you changed your mind and moved the goalposts again. And I don't know. That makes me wonder, what kind of promise did you give them like you gave Notre Dame? Because it just seems like, and everybody, even though Alabama 3 losses, they were like, well, you play the SEC and get 3 losses, that's still a great season. We just say anything because we're trying to convince everybody that don't look at us when we leave Alabama where they are, even though they got 3 losses. Because we made a promise to people. Stop making promises. Nothing you do in that room should determine. Really. So that's if we lessen that room, then we lessen those promises because the decisions should be made on the football field, not in the room. That's what I'm saying. That's just what I'm saying. Miami won, enough done. That's what enough. Dude, are you guys with me on this? Let me ask you, are you with me on this? It is absolutely crazy for us to have to receive anything when people say, well, these two played each other and it doesn't matter. That's not the end all and everything. I just that pisses me off so much. That makes me so mad. The SEC will always have a tougher schedule than everyone else. So having 3 losses doesn't hurt them as much. All right, West Side Willie. West Side Willie, I hear you, but I don't subscribe to it. I don't subscribe to that though. Mm-mm. Only about the SEC and tough schedule. You got 3 losses. You go. You guys you saw Alabama. That Alabama team couldn't do anything in that championship game against Georgia. That offense didn't look great. So that I don't I don't whoa, you play the SEC schedule. Yeah, SEC schedule. All I know is you got drove. You got drove. And they said it. If they get beat bad, they can be out. But they didn't get out because Alabama, they have. They have some power. Love your show. Look, Little Rock, Arkansas. Yeah, I like Little Rock. What you think about the U playing 2 playoff games in Texas back to back? Hope that's a sign. I hope it's some kind of sign, because they'll play A&M and then they'll play in that Cotton Bowl right there. After that A&M win, I'm expecting quite a game in that Cotton Bowl. I have, man, it'd be off the chain. I have right in the Cotton Bowl. They're playing AT&T. They're playing at the stadium, Jerry's World, and I have this I had a spot right across the street that I will throw the biggest tailgate party in the world if we get to Dallas after we beat Texas A&M. The biggest tailgate party in the world. Please, that's what it's going to be. Yeah. It'll be pop like I don't know what. So I'm going to invite all of the locker room. All of the locker room. Think about that, and that's why I said, that's a good sign. Because we play those first 2 games in Texas. We'll play the championship game in Miami. Those have been great stakes for me. Texas and Florida. Been championship stakes for me. Hopefully, it's going to be our championship again right here. Love you, Mike. You're my favorite. You're my favorite listen on any podcast, TV, or radio show. Always entertaining, so much wisdom and passion. I appreciate that, P. Who's that, P? Who's that from? A P? Let's go back. Let me see what that says. Let me go back to that name, P. Hey, how do you put Piz Nope? Piz Nopes. Pizznops. Okay, that's okay. How you doing? But I appreciate that love, man. Double star 88. What's up, man? I appreciate you calling me a goat there, but yeah, that's really Jerry Rice. But soon as you're finished with the E and Rice, you better start with the M and Michael. Because Jerry Rice is the only one that has the number of championships and more catches, more receptions, more yards, more touchdowns. So I give him that. You know what I mean? I give him that, and he's earned that. You know what I mean? Super Bowl 29 should have been your Super Bowl. Yeah, we should have played Super Bowl 29, 11, 27, 28, 29, and 30. You should have played all of them, to be honest with you, and we didn't get that done. Skills. Yeah, I got you. Robert still died of town. Somebody saying something to me. You know what I mean? You have the purest energy, brother. Like a kid's happiness. God bless you, big homie. Hey, wait a minute. Go back. Let me see. Who said that to me? Go back. Oh, yeah. The purest homie. Oh, that's Jordan. I appreciate that, Jordan. Jordan the Booth 5300, man. That's a hell of a compliment. That's a hell of a compliment. I appreciate that, really, because I love kids. I love kids more than anything. And I'm going to tell you something, I get so many kids, so many young people, men, women coming up to me saying, oh, here's a picture we took when I was a kid, and you came over, and I love you for it. I've been loving you forever for it and everything. down in McAllen when I was doing the parade. I got off. I finished doing the parade, hosting, getting ready to leave, and there was still, I don't know, man, it was still 5, 6, 7,000 people there, just yelling, Michael, Michael, Michael. There's no way I could just walk to the car with all of these people. And right in the front of the gate are all the kids. And I was like, oh my God. So, they get me in the car. My security's trying to take me to the car and put me in. I said, stop, 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 stop. We're not walking past these kids. Let's stop. Let's right now. Let's line up on the sides and protect, keep all the grown-ups out, but let the kids in and let me see all the kids. And we sat with the kids, I was playing with them. Oh my God. I picked up one, because I like to tickle them. And that's what made me think about what he said. Because when you're tickling and playing with the kids, there's a laugh that comes out. Dude, it's as pure as solid gold. It's just so pure. It's a laugh where, because his soul, his spirit doesn't have any intention to take advantage of anybody, not trying to hurt anybody. He doesn't even know all of that. He doesn't know evil like that. He doesn't know the evils of money. He didn't have any desire for it like that. So he's not trying to take advantage of anybody. It's the purest thing in the world that you can hear. I'm telling you. And I love it. It's different when adults laugh. I mean, laughter is good and everything. But yeah, it ain't like the kids, man. And I don't ever want to miss one. I don't want to miss one. So even when we're walking away, a kid will come up late, I'm like, stop. No, he's already gone. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Come on, kid. Come on up here and let me get this. Let me do this. And that's just the right thing. I believe it's the right thing. I've been with people that are like me, right? People asking them for autographs and everything. And they'll be like, well, hey kid, who sent you over here? And which one of us is who? I'm like, well, we're not quizzing this thing. You're not doing that. The kid doesn't know. That's Emmett, you, Michael, that's Dion, that's Troy, that's Jada. Kid doesn't know that. He's just a kid. We're not doing that. We're going to give kid what he needs. Because sometimes they'll be like, his dad sent him over here, man. He doesn't even know. I don't give a damn. I don't care. We'll let the kid win. We're not going to try to use him as a whoop and beat dad, because we're going to afraid the kid. So I just want to say, there's nothing like a kid. Whenever you guys see me anywhere and you are the kid, you can get my attention. I'll take a picture with that kid, no matter what. I will definitely stop and take a picture with that kid. Just wanted to say, I hope you and yours have a wonderful Christmas, 88. I appreciate that, Nate. And same to you. And same to all of you guys. I want all of you guys to have a wonderful Christmas, and a Happy New Year. Or whatever you call these holidays. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, whatever you call them. I want them to be great for you, you see. But I want this to be great for the Miami Hurricanes here, though. I want this. I can't wait for this game. I'm telling you guys. I know. I haven't even seen. Guys, find out what's the line on the game. You know what I mean? Get me the line on the game and what they're talking about with that. What is the line on the game? I want to see, because I don't think there's no way. I know that they have to have in a favorite, because I'm telling you, everybody wants Miami to lose. They actually want Miami to get blown out. And I don't think that's going to happen. So Texas favorite, 3.5, the 3.5 point favorite. 3.5 point favorite. My thoughts? You know my thoughts with this? Let me tell you something. If the odds makers have A&M 3.5 point favorites, they're calling this an even game. You know, this is an even game. You get 3 points for being at home. You know what I mean? You get 3 points for being at home. So really, that's your throwaway. So there's a 0.5 point there, just so they can have the split. But to me, even though everybody thinks Miami's about to get blown out, the people that are making the odds, they say there's almost an even game, just about even. Pure as gold. Well said, big guy. Pure as gold. I appreciate that, Joy. Pure, and I know you must be talking about kids. Kids are the most pure as gold, the most beautiful thing in the world. And if you deal with as many people as I do every day, in so many facets, in so many ways, and you always see people trying to take advantage of you, right? We're working on looking at some homes. I was going to buy some more homes. My son and to buy some more homes, buy some more homes anyway for someone else to get home. And they were asking for my social security, right? I'm real funny about giving it out. I was like, no. We're not giving it you just over the phone. You know, I'll drive over there, put it in, let it come up all those X's, but I'm not giving you my social security number. But I've been dealing. And you know why? Because people do so many things now, and you give them that kind of power, it scares you. It scares you. So I'll drive over and do it. I'll take care of it. I'll put it in because I don't trust people. Because everybody has some kind of intent, and they try to take care of things, they try to take care of themselves. See, these kids, they're not trying to get over, and they don't have them cousins visiting every 28 days. Y'all know those cousins that come to see you. So they're not feeling pressure. They don't feel like they got to take advantage of you. They're not trying to beat you. They don't have those relatives. We do. All of us. Because those relatives come see us. Uncle Sam and Cousin Bill every 28 days. So you got to go out and make sure you can meet and greet Uncle Sam and Cousin Bill every 28 days. So sometimes you just got to beat, I guess you feel like you got to beat people to make sure you can take care of Cousin Sam and Uncle Bill and Uncle Sam and Cousin Bill, I guess. So kids don't have that. That's why I love it. Texas will lose by at least 17 points. Did y'all also see? I saw Texas A&M coach, a quarterback. Somebody was it Robert Griffin the third, RG3 podcast, and they were asking him. Miami offered him $4 million. What would he do? And he said, "I had to go talk with my parents." You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know where that came from. I don't know if Miami is even after that guy. I want to see what he looks like, the A&M quarterback, because I think the best way to beat A&M is to force them to throw the ball. And if we thinking right now, if I think, and that's some of the things I've seen, the best way to beat A&M is by throwing the ball, then I don't know if you want to give that guy $4 million to be your quarterback. If people are saying this is the best way to beat him. But this is a great battle between the guys up front. And that's what I love about this. You may not be considered top 10, but God gave you a more sacred assignment. You are the heart, soul, and spirit of the wideout position. And your Hall of Fame bros are the soul of the game. I appreciate that, buddy. I appreciate you saying that. And I'm not gonna lie, I was bothered not being in that top 10, to be honest with you. But I know how different the game is, and they wanted to get in guys. They had guys in there, like Steve Largents and everything. He had guys in there that I had watched and and marveled at. So I let it go. I just said, okay, and just moved on. That's why I came up with my own piece about it. All right, I'm not in there, but I wouldn't trade my career for anyone in there except Jerry Rice. The Locker Room, best podcast of any podcast. This is so real. And I want us to keep it real. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, I want us to keep it real. We got to have some place that we can go and be able to keep it real. Even talk about the things that people don't ever want to talk about, and even say the things that people don't ever want to say. Some kind of just some sanity here. Just some sanity. To remember now, we got to keep confessing one with another and keep praying one for the other. And this is where we're going to find healing. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about right there, man. Question, will Phillip Rivers throw for 500 yards Sunday? Oh, let me Whitney Houston this one. Hell to the no. That's the best way I could give you that. Hell to the no. Now, going up against Seattle, that pass rush, that defensive line, no way. No way. No way that's going down. I don't see it. This is going to be, and as they say, they'll name who's going to start at the end of the week. But I'd imagine if they brought him in, they didn't bring in 44 years old to sit around and wait. He ain't got much time to wait, you see, or sit around. So they brought him in. They're saying we instead of having youth that can run around for us, we want the guy that can make the best decisions for us, even if he can't run around. Now, he will make the best decisions on the field as far as throwing the football and where to go with the football, discerning the defense, and discerning and finding and hitting the weak spots in a defense. But there's a piece of his game and a piece of the game that has been in the Indianapolis game, the running by Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones can run, and you start tying that in with Jonathan Taylor, that makes a dynamic running group. Now it's Jonathan Taylor. And you have to, in order now to back people up, you have to throw some balls and throw them up the field more. You back them up, and then you hand that ball off to Jonathan Taylor. So I'm anxious to see how they are going to do this. You know what I mean? How they're going to attack this. Playmaker, any chance of getting 2 tickets for the beatdown of the Aggies? I even looked into that. Huh? I looked into that. I want to know what the weather's going to be like, how cold it's going to be when that day happens and when that comes. But I don't know how to get tickets. You know, I just go in with the team and go right to the sideline and sit over there and wait with the team. And I want to be there as soon as I can. Dude, listen, I gotta do this. Like, I'm right now scheduled. I have a 6 a.m. private plane leaving Miami Saturday morning because I got to be there for the fight Friday night. You know, I'm worried. But I got to do it. I got to do it. Honestly. You know, look, they got a commercial flight, but I'll get in so close to the game. And I'm worried about that because this is such a big game. Mr. Rod B asked me, do we have a chance, Mike? Absolutely. Absolutely. And it has to be, talking about Miami, this has to be the mentality, the mindset. They walk in here, city got to be thinking nobody wants us to be. Nobody wanted us here. All of this hard work we have put in, and nobody wanted us here. And every snap, before every snap, like what I used to tell anybody that came in the league, you got to put your biggest fear on the line before every snap. You know, I would always line up. I promised my dad on his dying bed that I'd take care of my mom. I got it. My dad, I was a young man. I'm gonna share this with you. I was a young man. My dad got sick, and we realized brain and throat tumor, and he was like, "Son, you're gonna drive me to the hospital and to the doctor." So I was his designated driver, and I don't know. He must have felt he was going to leave soon because he just started trying to share things with me and talking to me. And he's a pastor. My dad was a pastor, so sometimes he spoke, you know, in some words like when I was visiting him that night, he was saying to me, you know, he said, "Son, I feel I may go home. I may be going home on the morning train. I'll never forget it." And he said, "I want you to promise you'll take care of your mom." And I was like, "Dad, what do you mean I'll take care of my mom? You know, I got her. I got her. I don't know why I'm getting on this. Why did I jump into this?" And you know, and every time I went on the football field, right before the snap, that's what I thought about. That's what I thought about. I always said, "You're trying to stop me from taking care of my mom." And I would unleash hell upon him because that's my greatest fear. And that's what I got to make sure these guys do in this game. I appreciate that there right there. Saying, man, you did better than your dad ever could have imagined. I appreciate you saying that. I really do. But my dad, he pushed me. See, I watched my dad work and I watched him never complain. And I'm talking about he was a roofer. I did. When I even took me to that work, I was like, "Oh my God, there's no way I could do this the rest of my life. No way I could do this the rest of my life." He did it all of his life. I was just doing this for some summer breaks. I would put the pants and the shirt on the wall of school and say, "I'm not coming back to this." But I would always look across and say that whatever got lined up, trying to stop me from keeping my promise to my dad and take care of my mom. And then they said, "Hut." And everything I got in me, I'm putting on you. That's what our guys have to do. Missour, Bain, this Cooper, Nez, all these seniors, you know, this your last go round. Everything you want right here. Everything you want right here. You got a chance to go get. And you got a chance to leave your mark and write your great history starting on that 20th, December 20th. December 20th. Mm, mm. And every play, I want them to look up and put their greatest fear up against and say, "Let's go. Y'all trying to stop me from leaving my mark. We've come way too far. We got snubbed last year, and you get in right here, right now. Your history. You are writing that history." And you're right, saying, man, their history starts now. You know, it really does. You want to be remembered. You want to be special. This story will go crazy because You on the brink. Nobody wanted you in. Now it's time to go show the world why nobody wanted you in. And if I catch that commercial flight, I won't get there in time enough to seal all of this in there. So I got to do something. If y'all got some, and I don't know. My heart's already be fast. I don't want to take nothing and then be drowsy at the game. So I'm gonna have to gut this. I'm gonna have to gut it. I don't know. I'm thinking about. I promise I'm so crazy. I'm gonna have to get on the plane. I'm gonna have to once we get up. I'm gonna have to lay down because I can't see anything outside, and then that thing starts. I can't. I don't want to start thinking about it. I just got to figure out. I got to do it. I just got to do it. I got to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get on that plane. We're going to get to College Station because I got to be there, bar none. Anyway, come hell or high water. Playmaker, you're making me want to hit the field now. I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you saying, finish the fight. That's what we got to do. Finish this fight. We have earned the right to finish this fight. And you have to go finish the fight. So, 2 games in Texas. And then we coming home to play that game, that championship game in Miami. At least that's how I hope it all plays out. Now, let's move on because I see you guys putting up all this Cowboys. Tell Jerry, this send jet force 1 for you. Yeah, Jerry has a plane. I get a plane from Jerry. Yeah, Jerry. That was the last time I took a plane. You know what? That Jerry sent that plane. The last time I think, remember that was when we had that game in Pitt. I think my son was playing. No. We had it was ACC championship game, right? It was ACC last game of the year, and I knew I had to be at that game, and then that morning I had to be in LA. So I took that plane from Jerry's plane, left from here, went to do the game, then took the plane from there to LA, and then waited on me in LA, and left LA because I had to go, I think, Tennessee. Was it Tennessee? Nashville. Yeah, Nashville. To shoot a commercial, and then flew back home. But Jerry's got a pretty big plane. It was almost like one of those regional jets that I get to take with American Airlines. So that was good. This plane, I don't want to talk about it. I'm getting on that damn plane. I don't want to talk myself out of it. I'm getting on that plane no matter what, buddy. I gotta go. I gotta go. I cannot miss it. I cannot miss it. I don't care. I can't miss it. Let your boy know when you come to Las Vegas next time. I'll buy you drinks, cocktails. I appreciate that, buddy. Yeah, I appreciate that. I'll take some drinks and cocktails, in Vegas. When will I be in Vegas? Yeah. This I'm so happy too. Malachi Tony will be the first receiver picked when he's eligible for the draft. Right. He's already so explosive. Yeah. And he's so versatile. And he's so intelligent. And he's so driven. And he has so much fight in him. And that's what I love, to see him with all of that fight. I mean, I've been watching this man all year. I don't ever see him take a play off. So I can't wait to see that. I can't wait for the rest of the country to see Malachi Tony. Because think about it. Most of the time when we're playing, there's so many games going on Saturday. Everybody's watching their team. That's why playoff football is so great. There's usually only one game on at a time. So the whole country tune in on you. And there will be a lot of people tuning in and getting a chance to see Malachi Tony for the first time. So I can't wait to see that happen. What restaurants did you eat at in McAllen this past weekend? What restaurants did I eat? I went, I don't remember the name of it, but you guys have some great restaurants. I'm going back to my calendar because I got a call today. Well, to be frank, be real, like I always am with you. They didn't call. They were when I was going to do the parade. Some call came across the desk. They were offering, some money to do a quick get together prior to it, but it was like $15,000 just to do a small get together. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that before because I don't know how much that would take out of me. And McAllen had a long day planned, and I wanted to be available and energy up. So I told him no. Then right, because I thought no, and I also thought they were talking about more of a party thing. But then when I get back here, I find out that it was actually, he said it was actually the children's hospital that wanted to do the gathering. And I told the guy that brought it to me, I said, you didn't tell me this. You told me it was to get together. And I thought you were talking about, dudes getting together, drinking and hanging out. And I'm like, I had a long day here. I'm not getting together with guys. But he said, no, this is what it was. It was, they were celebrating their 20th anniversary for helping kids. I said, dude, I would have absolutely done that. I would have absolutely done that. And yeah, man. And then, I started talking to him back and forth. And I said, man, y'all crazy. I'll turn around and come back to do that. So you see, because that's where God gives you your blessing. These are the things you got. I can't put this. You see this one? Because I'm getting my house remodeled. You see the bus? It's my own fame bus, right? The Super Bowl trophy, championship trophy. The hell? What I look like coming to God, and he said, what did you do to deserve pressing the button to go up? Well, I need the Hall of Fame, and I want a Super Bowl. He gonna tell me, man, get on that elevator. Don't even press the down button. It's just gonna go down. You see what I'm saying? Are you joking? I have to have something to put on the table. And the Bible says any one of us wronging a kid will wish that we had a millstone tied around our necks and that we were tossed in the ocean. That's how much God loves kids. He's going to put a millstone around your neck and toss your ass in the ocean if you do them wrong. So if you do them right, you can assess. He will bless you great. You see what I'm saying? You can put treating kids right on the table, and you'll get a chance to press that up button and get to heaven. That's how I think. I'm sorry. That's why the kids are always so important to me. I want to talk about this. I'm glad somebody just gave it up. I was wondering when we're going to see it. What do you think about the Browns versus Titans showdown with nephew and nephew? I said nephew and nephew. Because did you guys see it? I call them both my nephews. Certainly Shador is my nephew. But Cam, I love Cam Ward. He is also. And did you see, I saw them talking after the game. And I thought about Dion and I again. Because, I remember seeing them in the before they got drafted, talking about competing against each other and everything. And then in that game, they were competing against each other. And Shador was saying to Cam after the game, because they were giving each other's the jerseys, he was saying, he was telling him like 350, 364 yards, whatever, and touchdown. He's like, what? Cam Ward, so funny, excuse me. He said, what? You did what? Man, sign this thing. Let me put this thing on eBay right now. You know what I'm saying? I was going to sell this thing. I thought that was funny, man. That great relationship that we'll see them battling each other for a long time. That I get out of the way. Now let's talk about what we saw with Cleveland. I thought that was crazy. After as great as the kid played, to get you back here, all of a sudden now you're going to not let him play and have this 2-point play. That was mind blowing. And then you was trying to throw the ball. So you're going to bring in this wildcat, give this ball to Junkin, and he didn't know what to do with it. And yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy decision. And everybody trying to say, well, that wasn't Stefanski's decision. That was the offensive coordinator's decision. Excuse me. Let me tell you something. No offensive coordinator makes any damn decision like that in that spot in a game without consulting the head coach. No. And Stefanski could have and should have said, wait a minute, we're not going to do that. Leave the kid in and let him play. Or he should have said, no, they're going to get all over me if we do that. Let's see, Shedeur got us here. Let him finish it. That's what a Jimmy Johnson would have done. So, yeah, I thought that was Bush League. I thought that was trying to kill his moment after he had played that game the way he played that game. All right, so that was not cool at all to see that happen at all. Can you talk about your giving up Parsons? Let's talk about you trading Parsons. What are you talking about? You talking about trading Parsons? Yeah, I'm past that now. I was a little disappointed last week with them not being able to stop Detroit's run, but I like what the defensive line looks like right now. So yeah, I'm kind of moving past Michael Parsons right now, to be honest with you, David. David Lewis. It's moving past it. But I love Michael Parsons. I was watching him the other day, and while he played the game, you could tell he was cold as hell. He looked cold. And I said, I wonder if he thought about this. You're pass rushing. You had 8 games in great weather because you at least got the home game. Perfect weather. And you go rush like a mother, brother. And now, ain't no telling. I guarantee you have 3 or 4 good games or great weather games a year. Probably no more than that. Now that you're in Green Bay, it's a little bit different when you're in Green Bay. Love you, brother. In my opinion, the best to ever do it. 88. I appreciate you saying that. Best to ever do it. Man, 1996 was a crazy year. I was 2 years old. Yeah. That was so funny. Let me tell you guys this. Everybody can go. Okay, Zeus, what's up? Zeus just came in, huh? Come on, buddy. Ain't no food over here, buddy. See my big, how about it? My buddy here, where he always looking for food. You leave that alone. We're gonna have watermelon time in, okay? We'll have watermelon time in. Let me tell you, I was on a show. Yeah. I'm gonna come back to that Ultra Cowboy because Diggs is hurting without Michael Parsons. And I told you guys the reality of that. I'll tell you guys. But I will tell you quick, I was doing the show, right? And I think we had guys like, man, this was a show with some guys, and we were all talking about our first championship game experience. And these guys were saying, yeah, in 01, when I played, and in 2015, when I was in a championship game, or 2018, when I was in a championship, 2020, I was in a championship game. And I was about to say 1996. I was like, oh, don't you say 1996. So I just said, well, in my last championship game, but I wasn't going to put the year in because it sounds so far ago, so long ago. I couldn't say in 96 when these dudes were talking about 2015, 2020. I was like, oh, that was crazy. I just thought about that because I saw that come up in 1996. But let's talk about that Michael Parsons playing in Trayvon Diggs. I told you guys that combination was deadly together. And Diggs, hopefully he'll be coming around getting healthy now, really healthy. But Diggs may get if Diggs can get back on the field now because you can get some pressure up the middle of the field and you get back to making those plays. But yes, he misses Michael Parsons. You know why? Because Michael Parsons, I told you, got to the quarterback fast, made him get rid of that ball. That's how Diggs got all of those interceptions. That was a key thing holding those two together. But now Diggs has to get healthy and realign with what he has right now because if he does, he'll see you getting pressure up the middle of the field. All right, Micah brought it off the edge and made him get rid of that ball. But you get pressure up the middle of the field, they're still going to try to get rid of that ball, and they won't even be able to see a lot of things because that pressure come right in their face. You can get a lot of those interceptions. That's what they need to be thinking about right now. 6 days to Green Bay to play with his girlfriend, Michael. Come on, double star 88. You know what I mean? Hey, that too. I was wondering when somebody's going to give my boy some love. Not my boy, but you know what I'm saying. Justin Herbert is super tough. That was a hell of a sacrifice, I would say, or a hell of a thing to see him playing with that broken arm, that broken hand, or that bad hand, or whatever happened to that hand, and then still able to run and make plays, man. And he's bleeding over, bleeding out the hand, bleeding everywhere. He looked like, yeah, he looked like that dude that said, "Come on, let's go, I got you." And team followed, and they won that game. I was, yeah. You need to see Caleb versus Herbert. Caleb Williams now, Caleb Williams is really improved. But when you look at it, Caleb Williams still has to improve his completion percentage. He has to get that thing up near 70 and stay up there. So he has still a lot of work to go. Hurts is the Mr. Magoo of quarterbacks. Hurts has to also trust some of the process. And I told you, Troy did a great job the other day in the game talking about how he came off that one read and he should be coming down to that check down. The check down was wide open, but he'll come off that one read and he doesn't see the check down, and then he tries to get out and start running and find someone open. He's rushing in his head. And I believe, honestly, I believe what I'm seeing is him feeling the pressure that everybody's putting on him. Like he's trying to make sure AJ is happy. And coincidentally, guys, since AJ Brown, since these last 3 games, AJ Brown is like the #1 receiver. I mean, he had 100 yards every game, and they lost every game. So you can't tell me this hasn't disturbed the whole flow of their team, focusing and worrying about AJ Brown, that situation. And he was being very careful with the football early on in the year, and now he feels he has to force that football to AJ Brown, and he is turning that ball over, and that's a lot of the reason they are losing right now. Mike, thanks for those childhood memories at saying that was training camp in Austin. Man, wow. Those were some great days at St. Ed's in Austin, man. Right over there off Congress. That was right off Congress, man. Oh, what great days, man. That was the greatest training camp. That was the greatest place for a training camp in the world. You know what I'm saying? I love having that. What's up, 88, Greg in Rhode Island? What's up, Greg in Rhode Island? How you doing, man? Dallas need to sing Cleveland. Williams Clark and 2 first-round picks for Myles Garrett. Yeah. We got him. We can sit. Why don't we just send those first-round picks and bring Myles Garrett in and add him this line? Then we got a whole new thing going. I like that now. Wait a minute, buddy. Wait a minute. Whoa, 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 who is that? What's that, Mr. What? Mr. Silly Guy. Mr. Silly Guy says you should do locker room, locker room live around the country. That's a thought. That's a thought right there. That's a thought. Maybe coming near you soon with that. It's funny you bring that up too, because I was watching, Cam and Mason, and they were traveling, going around and doing a live show. And I thought, man, that would be neat. Now I know when Shay Shay was here, and they were doing nightcap here, he asked me to come over and do the live show, but I was going to LA. He was flying here. I was flying to LA and to do a show, to do something else, TV show. So I didn't get a chance to do it. But I really wanted to, and that would have been fun to do. You know what I mean? That would have been fun to do. Yeah, that would be fun. You're right. Who's that? Great Stever. That would be fun to go over and do shows and talk to other people everywhere. It would be, yeah. Phil, I am coming to Albuquerque, man. Will be your first show. I want to come to Albuquerque. That would be like Albuquerque, the McAllen, the Brownsville, all over there would be great. And it's so funny that you guys are bringing this up. Gene and I were just talking about doing stuff like this. We were just talking about it prior to coming on and talking with you guys in the locker room, because you guys know it's all about you guys, and having the chance to pull up and touch people and be around people and have some fun trying to help each other with each other. You know what I mean? Mike should be coaching the ball club. Yeah. I try to get my coaching in what I do when I'm trolling up and down the sidelines with guys. I just love being around those guys. I love being around the guys that would love the opportunity to do that. I love the opportunity to do that. That would be fun. I am looking forward, though, guys. I see since we got talking about Pickens. I'm looking forward to see how Pickens responds to what happened last time he was on the football field. This time, going up against the Vikings, going up against Justin Jefferson in that crew. I can't wait to see how he handles that. He had a little bit of adversity, his first bit of adversity. And the sad thing is, without CD, everybody was looking for him to take over. So I know he feels like maybe he let some people down. So let's see. Because everybody, speaking of that right there, who's the number one receiver, Mike? Devil, that's what I'm talking about right there. See, if you hit the nail on that head, now say George Pickens, once CD had gone out, had stepped up and won and played that game and won that game, people would have been shutting her down, saying, there's the number one right there. There's the number one. But didn't happen that way. So now he has to come back and show up and show out to get back in those graces. And I believe he will. So I'm looking forward to, I know I kept you guys way too long. And I do have to get ready for it is what it is tonight, Oh, you know what? I want that Henry Rugg. I saw that too. God bless him, man. Man, I saw him and I was like, wow, man. I wonder what's going through his head, going through his mind right now, even going through what he's going through. You know how many times he had to sit there and say to himself, man, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have been out that night. I could be looking at $1 million contract right now, $100 million contract, and instead I'm stuck in here. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. God bless him, man. Uh, God bless him. And we are praying for the family that lost their loved ones, their loved one in that horrible, horrible accident with that horrible situation. You know, that's sad to see that happen. You know what I mean? It really is sad to see that happen. So, yeah, guys, that's all the time we'll have today. I got to get ready to do the other show, but I so appreciate you spending the time. And again, we pushed it a little bit farther this time, a little bit higher, a little bit better. That should be our motto every day, every time we play. Let's push it a little bit farther, a little bit harder. Let's get a little bit better. Show us your rings. Oh, yeah, rings, oh, rings. All right, some rings. You know what? I'll have them here all next Wednesday. I'll lay them out for you all next Wednesday as I have them. Let me do that for you. All right? You guys show up. I'll show you all the rings. I'm going to lay them out. Wait, that's some cool. I'm going to show you all them rings, all my championship rings, because, you know, a lot of people, they can't say, I'm going to show you a ring. And some will say, a lot of say, I'm going to show you my ring. I'm going to show you rings. 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 I'll have them here in the locker room next week because it's your day. And we do it what? Your way. And you ask, I shall deliver next week. God bless. And let's try to talk this week, next week, like we talked last week, this week. I love your locker room. I appreciate you spending the time. I appreciate you sharing. Remember, on this day, we do it your way.